Welcome back, Smart Start Radio family. Before we get into our latest amazing episode, we have a quick word from our sponsor. With spectacular hotels, amazing theme parks, and unparalleled entertainment, Universal Orlando Resort offers a meeting destination unlike anything else in the world. Imagine finally securing the celebrity speaker at the top of your organization's wish list. Sounds pretty cool, huh? You announce the name and people register like crazy. Your marketing team is ready to line up social posts to further push interest. Everything seems perfect, right? But then you learn you may not be allowed to record them. You may need approval before using their photo, and they may be contractually permitted to cancel if a bigger professional opportunity comes knocking. Booking that big name, it turns out, is only the beginning of a very long process.
Smart Star Radio. Ready, set, here we go with another episode. Watch as we learn and grow. That's Smart Star Radio. Smart Star Radio. Ready, set, here we go with another episode. Watch as we learn and grow. Starting smart is the action we design. Meeting other minds, how to better use our time. Leading us.
Welcome back, Smart Start Radio family. Once again, I am Yiming Piansai, multimedia editor for Smart Meetings. And this is Smart Start Radio Coffee Chat, where we sit down with a drink. Mine currently is a iced latte because it's kind of hot in our offices right now, to explore one idea that could help you plan smarter. So grab your coffee, water, tea, or whatever is helping you make it through the day. And let's talk about what planners need to know before putting a celebrity on the stage. Okay, so I personally get easily starstruck. If you've listened to any of our old shows, at least one of them, I was starstruck. And I made it known I was because, give props where it's due. But when you book, any kind of person who has big following, maybe a household name, there are things that go along with that. And sometimes, it can have issues come up, good and bad, depending on the scenario. Today's conversation is based on the story on our website, Contracting Celebrity Talent for the Win, a story by Smart Meetings Vice President and Content Director JT Long, which is now on our website. You can go read it right now if you want. For the story, JT spoke with Michael DeMarco, founder and CEO of Celebrity Direct Inc., about what planners need to understand before booking high-profile talent. And one of the biggest takeaways is that hiring a celebrity is fundamentally different from hiring a professional speaker. Why is that, you ask? A professional speaker makes a living speaking. They usually have an established presentation, a clear process, and experience working within the structure of conferences, as you probably already know. However, a celebrity may be an actor, an athlete, a musician, an executive, a television personality whose primary career happens somewhere else. They are not accustomed to this space and therefore aren't always on the same page as, say, a typical speaker. That difference changes the entire arrangement of what you've gotten yourself into. So on the one hand, you have your attendees who are probably super excited for this A-lister. But like most situations, they see the carrot, they take the carrot, but there's so much more behind the carrot that they're actually getting, which should probably make the experience so much better. So one of the first issues planners need to clarify is recording. It is easy to assume that because someone is appearing at your event, that you are able to film the session, live stream it, or post clips afterwards. You would think that would be a no-brainer, but that might not be true. Some A-lister agreements prohibit video and audio recording, live streaming, certain kinds of photography, unless those rights are specifically negotiated beforehand. So your contract with this A-lister or celebrity may need to include or explain who can record the appearance, how the material is being used, and how long it can remain available, and whether the celebrity's team must approve the final content. That conversation is becoming even more complicated as contracts begin addressing AI training, deepfakes, and the unauthorized use of someone's likeness. So as someone who works in media, repurposing content is the lifeblood of what I do, what a lot of us do. Being able to reuse content allows us to make our content evergreen, specifically if it's for a certain amount of time at least. It can be used for social, it can be used for newsletters. It's a way to bring people back to that specific moment. They were like, oh, wow, you guys had this person. That's amazing. That's super cool. But that may cause issues. So even though we all love to repurpose content, this needs to be worked out. I've had an occasional, I need to review these clips beforehand, but that's very rare. It's very rare. So getting that approval is essentially essential to making the recording at least worth it for you in the long run. The lesson here is simple. Never assume that booking the appearance automatically gives you the ownership of the content, because you recorded it, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily yours, because it's still their likeness. Then there's the cancellation clause. This may be the most important part of the contract because a celebrity's primary career could take priority over the speaking engagement that you've booked them for. Like they could be like, oh, cool. But then like, hey, I have a movie. I gotta go shoot. Bye. Like that could be easily the thing. A working actor might be called on a film set. An athlete might advance to the playoffs. A musician could receive a chance to do a tour or performance that they, have to do. Some contracts allow celebrity talent to cancel within a certain amount of time when one of those professional conflicts arises. And yes, that could happen after you have already built part of your marketing campaign around their appearance. I can't lock you down into my world. You have a life outside of this. This is not your primary source of income. On the other hand, how do I fill this if you leave? A lot of thought has to go into this to make this make sense and make so that even if you have an issue rise up, what's the recourse for that? Planners may not be able to eliminate that possibility, but they can prepare for it. The contract should clearly define what qualifies as a professional conflict, when the planner must be notified, and what happens to the deposit if the celebrity cancels. The event team also needs a backup plan. Could another speaker step in? A friend of a friend, maybe? Could the session become virtual? How would the change be communicated to attendees? Would registration numbers or sponsorship agreements be affected by this? Again, it's like a layered cake. You got to think about everything foundationally speaking. A contingency plan is not an admission that the booking will fail. It is the protection against allowing one person's availability to determine the fate of an entire program. Because honestly, would you want one person canceling to cause the floor to open up under you? No. If you have thought this out enough, and yes, you got the golden egg, great. But what if that golden egg goes poof? What do you do in case there's a poof? And if there's a poof, what's something that can live in that space that won't suck the air out of the room? So always be thinking about that. Promotion is another area where assumptions can create problems. Booking a celebrity does not necessarily mean your organization can immediately use their name, photo, and likeness everywhere. Their team may need to approve the announcement, the images being used, and the date the appearance becomes public. There may be also restrictions involving sponsors or third-party brands, which is totally legitimate and possible. For an event relying on the celebrity's name to sell registrations, tickets, and sponsorships, those limitations could affect the entire marketing timeline. So, before anyone designs the email campaign, prints the invitations, or schedules the social posts, the promotional rights need to be clear. I would do it like a blank and. Maybe have a second speaker, maybe an actual speaker who you know is going to be there for you when you need them. They know your industry and they will provide great information for your group, and they'll be able to talk at length and be engaging and fun and fascinating and educational. And then you put and so-and-so. So you're not tying your whole thing to this person who may pull out just because they have a life beyond your event. Finally, planners need to remember that a celebrity appearance is often a full production. The agreement may include specific requirements for the stage, lighting, audiovisual support, staffing, and green room. From the outside, some of these requests may appear excessive, but the story makes an important point. Preparation communicates how seriously the organization is taking the appearance. A properly prepared space tells the talent and their team that the planner paid attention, which is great. We like people who are locked in like that. And when someone is about to walk onto a stage in front of hundreds or thousands of people, that confidence matters. So this is one thing. I've been to a lot of events, and the walkthroughs specifically are so important, because if you have a guest who doing a dry run of their event, this is not a celebrity, obviously. I have not experienced that particular side of things. But if you are just having someone who is this really big part of your event, a very interactive part of your process, you want them to understand all their cues, have kind of a sense of what they're doing, and if they need to make requests, that they can speak to you about it, or be hey, this doesn't work for me, allowing the creative, if you will, to have more input into how their process is being timed and cued. So what should meeting professionals take away from all of this? First, understand exactly what you are purchasing. An appearance does not automatically include recording, promotional, or contents rights. Number 2, pay close attention to the cancellation language and build a backup plan before you need one. Third, make sure you're involving the marketing and production teams early so contractual restrictions do not become last-minute surprises. And finally, remember that the celebrity may attract attention, but the planner creates the experience surrounding them. The name of the stage is exciting, obviously. I do not question that. But the details in the contract are what make the appearance work. So dot your I's, cross your T's, make sure you're not left hanging. I wish that upon no one. You can read JT Long's full story, Contracting Celebrity Talent for the Win, at smartmeetings.com. I'm Yiming Piansai. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
That's Smart Star Radio, Smart Star Radio. Ready, set, here we go with another episode. Watch as we learn and grow. That's Smart Star Radio, Smart Star Radio. Ready, set, here we go with another episode. Watch as we learn and grow. Starting smart is the action we design. Meeting other minds, how to better use our time. Leading, interceding, proceeding, they divine. It's believing, they conceding, so it goes on all the time.
You've been listening to Smart Start Radio, a Smart Meetings production. Interested in being our next guest? Connect with us at editor@smartmeetings.com.